What if I told you that spending your golden years in a crowded nursing home isn't your only option, and it might not even be the best one? I know that might sound like a wild statement. After all, for decades, we've been told that nursing homes are the natural next step when we get older and need more help. But what if there were happier, more affordable, and even more fulfilling choices out there? Options that let you keep your freedom, stay closer to loved ones, and live with joy, not just survive. If you're over 60, or if you're caring for someone who is, this might be one of the most important conversations we ever have. The idea that we have to give up our independence and move into a nursing home once life slows down is outdated, and honestly, kind of heartbreaking. The truth is, more and more older adults are rejecting that model and discovering smarter, simpler, and more joyful alternatives that cost less and feel a whole lot better. That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to talk about 6 alternatives to traditional nursing homes that are not only easier on your wallet, but also offer a sense of community, purpose, and freedom that nursing homes often fail to provide. And I promise, these aren't just vague ideas or wishful thinking. These are real-life solutions people just like you are choosing every day. Let's start with one of the most underestimated options out there. Have you ever considered the idea of aging in place? It might sound technical, but really, it just means staying in your own home as you get older. And believe it or not, it's not only possible, it can actually be the most comfortable, cost-effective, and emotionally fulfilling choice you can make. With just a few adjustments, your home can become your haven. Think about installing grab bars in the bathroom, swapping out doorknobs for easy-to-grip handles, or even adding a stair lift if needed. These changes are relatively small but can make a huge difference. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. The cost of retrofitting your home for safety and convenience is often far less than what you'd pay in just a few months at a nursing facility. Plus, staying in a familiar environment can dramatically reduce stress, depression, and even memory issues. You're surrounded by your own things, your own memories, your neighbors, maybe even your garden. It's not just about comfort, it's about identity. You remain you. Now I know what you might be thinking. That sounds great, but what if I need more help? Someone to cook, clean, or help me bathe? That brings us to the next option that fits beautifully with aging in place: in-home care. This could mean a few hours a week of support or more involved care depending on your needs. The beauty of in-home care is that it's flexible. You choose the help you need when you need it. Maybe someone comes by a few times a week to help with laundry or grocery shopping. Or maybe you need daily assistance with medication and meals. Whatever your situation, there are professional caregivers ready to help, and often at a fraction of the cost of full-time residential care. Even better, many communities offer volunteer programs or subsidized care for seniors. You'd be amazed at the support networks already in place, just waiting to be tapped into. And let's not forget family. Sometimes all it takes is a bit of coordination, a schedule that allows different family members or friends to pitch in during the week. Not only does this lower costs, but it keeps you connected with people who care about you deeply. But what if staying in your current home doesn't feel right anymore? Maybe it's too big now, or you want to be closer to family, or more social opportunities. That's where senior co-housing starts to shine. Think of it like this. Imagine a small community where everyone is over 55. Each person has their own private living space, and there are shared kitchens, gardens, and common areas. You still have your privacy, but you're never far from a friendly face. It's a concept that's been catching on fast. People are forming co-housing groups with friends or joining established ones. They cook together, walk together, and most importantly, look out for one another. It's like living in a neighborhood where everyone truly cares, and financially, it can be incredibly smart. Costs are shared, maintenance is lighter, and utilities are split, leaving more room in your budget for the things that bring you joy. One woman I spoke to recently moved into a co-housing community after her husband passed. At first, she was hesitant, worried about losing her privacy or feeling like a burden. But now, she says she feels more alive than she has in years. She has dinner companions, people to garden with, and friends who check in without her even having to ask. And all this for far less than she was paying for her previous home, and way less than a nursing facility. So whether it's modifying your current home, bringing in help on your own terms, or joining a community built on connection and shared values, there are real uplifting alternatives to the traditional path we've been shown. And the best part, these options aren't about settling for less. They're about choosing more happiness, more control, more dignity. Let's keep exploring what's possible together, because the next options, they might just be even more surprising. If the thought of senior co-housing made you smile, just wait until you hear about this next option. It's something most people overlook, but it's quietly becoming one of the most heartwarming and empowering choices for older adults today. I'm talking about intergenerational living. It's exactly what it sounds like, different generations living under the same roof, or at least nearby, supporting each other in ways that are surprisingly beautiful. Now you might be picturing a packed house with screaming kids and chaos, but that's not what this is about. It's about balance. Picture this instead. You live with or near your adult children and their families, or perhaps share a home with a younger relative or even a trusted friend. You still have your own space and privacy, but you're never far from company or help when you need it. More and more families are returning to this way of living, and not just because it's economical, though it certainly is. When multiple generations share expenses, housing becomes much more affordable for everyone involved. But what really makes this option shine is the emotional benefit. There's something incredibly grounding about being surrounded by family. Sunday dinners feel special again. Grandkids grow up knowing their grandparents not just as occasional visitors, but as part of their daily lives, and don't underestimate what you bring to the table in this setup. Your wisdom, your calm presence, your stories, they enrich the household in ways you may not even realize. One woman told me she moved into her daughter's home after her husband passed. She wasn't sure how it would work, but now she helps with the kids before school, bakes with them on weekends, and even started teaching her grandson how to knit. I feel needed again, she said. I feel like I belong, and that sense of belonging, that's something no nursing home can buy. It comes from being part of something bigger than yourself, something rooted in love. But intergenerational. Living isn't always about moving in with family. In some communities, seniors are living with younger roommates, college students, for example, who provide light support like errands or companionship in exchange for affordable rent. It's a win-win. The young person gets a safe, quiet place to live, and you get extra help plus someone to share meals or conversation with. Some programs even help match seniors and students based on personality and interests. Can you imagine learning how to use TikTok from a 22-year-old in exchange for sharing your favorite classic recipes? It's these little things that make life rich. Now let's talk about another powerful alternative, senior villages. You might not have heard of these yet, but trust me, they are changing the way people age. A senior village isn't an actual village in the traditional sense. It's more like a local support network, built by and for older adults who want to remain in their homes but still feel connected and secure. Here's how it works. Members of the village pay a small yearly fee, and in return, they gain access to an incredible range of services, everything from transportation and grocery delivery to tech support and organized social events. But what makes senior villages different from a company or a government program is that they're community-driven. That means members often volunteer to help one another. Maybe you love gardening and help a neighbor spruce up their yard, and next week someone else gives you a ride to the doctor. It's neighbors helping neighbors with dignity and kindness. And the best part, you don't feel like a client or a number. You're part of a team. You contribute when you can and receive help when you need it. And in between, you're enjoying book clubs, movie nights, potlucks, real social connection, which, let's be honest, is something we all need more of. One gentleman I spoke to said his senior village saved his life. Not because of a dramatic emergency, but because it gave him a reason to wake up with purpose. He leads the walking group 3 times a week and helps deliver groceries to others in the neighborhood. I feel useful again, he told me, and I have people I can call if something goes wrong. That means everything. What's amazing is that senior villages are popping up all over the country, some big, some small, and they're especially helpful for folks who live alone or whose families live far away. They're a beautiful reminder that aging doesn't mean isolation. In fact, it can mean deeper community than ever before. Now, I know we've talked about quite a few options so far, and maybe your head is spinning a little, but take a deep breath. These are just seeds being planted. You don't have to act on everything today. The point is, there are so many more choices than you might have thought. Choices that honor your independence, protect your finances, and support your happiness. So many people assume that when we get older, the road narrows, that our only choice is to give up control and move into a facility where every hour of our day is planned by someone else. But that's not your only path. You've got options that are flexible, joyful, and empowering. You've got tools and communities and support systems waiting to help you live the kind of life you choose. And we're not done yet. There are still more creative and life-affirming solutions that just might surprise you. Let's keep going, because some of the best ideas are still ahead. If you've ever felt torn between needing support and craving independence, this next option might be exactly what you've been looking for. It's called an accessory dwelling, a unit, or ADU for short. That's a fancy name for something surprisingly simple. Think of a small cottage or in-law suite built on the property of a family member or trusted friend. You're close enough to feel safe and supported, but you've still got your own front door, your own kitchen, your own rhythm of life. What makes ADUs so wonderful is that they blend freedom with peace of mind. You don't have to feel like you're living under someone's roof or being watched all the time. You're not in a nursing home where someone knocks every time it's mealtime. You're in your own space, but if something happens, someone is just a few steps away. That sense of security without the loss of autonomy, it's powerful. More and more families are embracing this idea, and in many areas, zoning laws are becoming more friendly to ADUs. You'd be surprised how many backyard guest houses or converted garages are now being transformed into cozy, safe spaces for parents or grandparents. And financially, it can be a smart move. Compared to the high cost of long-term care facilities, building or converting a small space can save thousands over time. Plus, it's an investment in the family home, something that benefits everyone. I spoke with a man whose daughter helped him convert their detached garage into a small studio apartment. He has a little porch with a rocking chair, a kitchenette, a bright reading nook, and he says it's the best move he ever made. I have my coffee in peace, he laughs, but I can walk over for dinner with the grandkids any time I like. I feel independent, but never alone. And that really is the heart of all of this, finding that sweet spot where independence and connection live side by side. Because let's be honest, no one wants to feel like a burden, and no one wants to feel forgotten either. These alternatives we've talked about aren't just cheaper, they're kinder. They respect who you are and the life you've built. Now there's one more alternative I want to share, and while it might not be right for everyone, it's one that's giving thousands of older adults a whole new lease on life. I'm talking about intentional retirement communities. Not nursing homes, not assisted living centers, but vibrant communities designed for active, independent people over 55 who want to live among peers and stay socially and physically engaged. These communities come in all shapes and sizes. Some are urban, right in the heart of a bustling city. Others are nestled in peaceful countryside areas. What they all have in common is a focus on lifestyle. You'll often find walking trails, fitness classes, group activities, even art studios or music rooms. People aren't just sitting around waiting for the day to pass. They're thriving, learning new skills, making new friends, and living life to the fullest. One gentleman I heard from moved into a small retirement community with about 40 other residents. He had recently retired and was feeling a bit lost. Within weeks, he was teaching a memoir writing class, walking every morning with a new friend, and even joined a ukulele group at 72. "I didn't think I'd start becoming at this age," he said, "but here I am, doing more than I did in my 50s. These communities aren't just vibrant, they can also be affordable. Many offer different pricing models, including options that don't require huge upfront fees. And because they're designed for healthier, independent people, they often cost far less than traditional long-term care. So let's take a breath and look at what we've really discovered here. There are so many ways to age with grace, freedom, and dignity without locking yourself into the conventional nursing home path. You can stay in your own home and tailor it to fit your needs. You can bring care to your doorstep. You can build a life surrounded by friends, family, or even new connections. You can create a cozy space on your child's property, or find a community of people who wake up every day ready to live, not just exist. And the best part? You don't have to choose out of fear. You get to choose out of possibility, because aging doesn't mean the end of choices. It means the beginning of a new chapter, one where you get to write the rules. If this video has opened your eyes to new ideas, I want you to know that it's not too late. Whether you're 60, 70, 80 or beyond, there's still time to shape your future in a way that feels good, not scary. You deserve comfort, you deserve joy. And yes, you absolutely deserve to feel in control of your own life. If you've tried any of these alternatives, or if you're considering one, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share your experience. It might just inspire someone else watching. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and subscribe. We're here to bring you real solutions, heartfelt encouragement, and the kind of wisdom that makes these years your best yet. Remember this: getting older isn't about giving up. It's about growing into something richer, deeper, and more meaningful. You've still got so much life to live, and it's never too late to make it everything you've dreamed it could be.